All right, cello students, this is lesson number 13, and we are going to be starting out on page 26. So turn over there to page 26. You'll notice we're just learning the new notes on the G string, this one here. Okay, so we've already done D, we've already done A, so G is next. That's our lower one. So this is string 3. We're on string 3 now. So just want y'all to notice we have open G, and then we have A, B, and C. And there's also a finger 2. We won't be using finger 2, but that would be called B flat. And we won't worry about that just yet. All right, so let's take a look at the key signature that they show here. So last lesson, we talked a little bit about key signature and what it means and all of that. So this is kind of introducing the key of G because we're starting on the G string. Whereas when we were talking about the key of D, we were playing a set of notes on the D string. So that's the D scale. So your G scale is the same pattern, it just starts on the G string. So it's all the same fingers, it's just starting on the G string. So we're gonna go over these one by one, and I'm not going to be working with you on the scale just yet, but I do want you to notice the key signature. There's just the one sharp on this one now, so it's just F sharp, there's no C sharp. So in the key of G, all your C's are natural. So if you were playing over here on the A string and you came across a C, you would not play your finger 3, you would actually play a finger 2 because you would want C natural. In the same way that on the G string, we're gonna play finger 4 here, not stretching it further down to get C sharp. So we're just gonna keep it on C natural there. All right. So on page 26, here's the exercises. This is exercise 93. It's just a rhythm on open G. I'll count it for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice these have bow directions on them. Don't worry about that just yet. We're just going to learn the pizzicato first. I have some more bow work for y'all to do though, coming up in just a second. Okay, on to exercise 94, you have the C note. So what I want to show you about the C is you got to make sure that fourth finger is curved and in tune and very strong on that C note. It should sound good with your open C. So when you strum them together, they should sound great together. If you get something like this, or this, that does not go. So you want to make sure that you're right there in tune. All right, so here we go on C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll notice you have C, G, C at the end. So watch for that. A little bit tricky. You gotta land, you lift all the fingers, open string, and then land right back on that C. A little bit tricky there. Okay, on to 95, you have B. So we go, this is finger 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna put down that finger 4 for C. 1, 2, lift it up for B. 3, 4, and then we do that same C, G, C, like that. So it has that same little ending on it. Now for the A, that's your finger 1 right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then open G, A, B, C. So it kind of walks you up all the way. G, A, B, B, C. So that's all the notes on the G string for your first position here. So that concludes your pizzicato work and your new notes for this lesson. Now turn back over here to page 17. We're going to do a little bit of bow work. Now if you've already done really well on tone study number 2 on the first phase, where we're just using this middle part right here. So if you're getting pretty good at that, you can make that one a little bit harder and do it as up bow. So down bow is pretty easy. Up bow is a little bit more awkward. So you can start here and then do your lift over here rather than starting here and lifting here. So here we start, we go up bow and then repeat. And you can do that as slowly as you need to. Then change string levels and do it on G. Change string levels again on D. Then pivot the cello a bit, string on A. And that's your second part of that first phase. Now, your second phase of tone study number 2 is going to be doing 2 lifts per bow. So we're going to cut the bow in half, not literally, but we're going to start down here at the frog, do a lift in the middle, and then do another down bow and do a lift at the tip. So it's going to look like this: down, lift, 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 down, lift. And then once you get good at that, then you can also try doing the up bow lifts as well, using half bows. So you're going to go start at the tip, go up, lift, starting at the tip each time. Now on that A string, you may need to pivot a bit more for the up bow. It's going to feel a bit awkward. And also make sure you're not raising up your shoulder and doing this. Keep that all down and just pivot at the shoulder. Like that. All right, so y'all work on that nice and slowly. Be patient with it. You can use these tone studies for several weeks in your practice and they'll get you sounding very good. Okay, on to exercise 52 and 53. This is on page 17. We're just going to be working on some back and forth here. So starting on 52, we're going to start on down bow and go down, up, and switch. Down, up, down, lift, rest, and then you repeat. Okay, so here, this is another one where we're not really focusing on tone and how pretty it sounds or anything like that, but we're also not trying to make it ugly or anything. You're just really focusing on this back and forth type motion and the string changes. Okay, all right, on to 53. Little more tricky here, more string changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, so that one is kind of like a quiz just to see what your string levels are doing. Are we still hitting other strings and stuff like that? So really keep a good back and forth. It may sound a little bit like a robot there. That's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, Bow Builder 7 is kind of like an echo exercise. So for example, let's say I were to play D, just by listening. Now I know you can see my fingers here, so you know I played an E, but just by listening, could you copy what I played? So then you would play D and E in that same rhythm. And then if I were to play this, that. So that would be F sharp, G, and the G would be a half note. So it's longer, like that. Now, on the subject of half notes, you may notice over here on page 26, where we worked on the G string notes, we talked about when I showed you the counting, there were half notes involved. Those are the ones that are not colored in the middle. So you have the quarter notes, which are kind of filled in. So they're black in the middle. And then you have the half notes, which are kind of empty in the middle. Am I pointing to the right one? Yes, okay. So those are your half notes. Half notes have 2 beats. So that's why in the counting, you're actually letting it ring out for 2 beats instead of 1. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And I demonstrated that when I showed you those videos. I counted with them, but I did not explain that. So I apologize, guys. But that's what half notes are. They're just longer. So if you're playing them pizzicato, you just let the string ring out more. So for example, when we're doing G2, A2, okay, so it's just ringing out longer. A great way to keep track of the way you're counting them is to say the letter name and then the number 2, because there are 2 beats. So that it's like 1, 2. So you could say G2, A2, B2, C2. So that's how they sound without counting them. All right, and then when you're bowing them, you just do a slower bow. Like that. So it's like 2 beats. So this is 1 beat. This is 2 beats. So quarter note, half note. So that's the thing on half notes. And we'll go over that a little bit more because there's actually a lesson in here where it actually goes over half notes and stuff. So kind of just a little glimpse of something extra in there for you guys to work on. So work on page 17, 26, and tone study number 2, phase 1 and 2. Y'all have fun.